One of the things I want to talk to you about is my husband's reading this book, and I can't remember the name of it for the life of me, but it's about leadership. And one of the qualities this guy talks about in leadership is humbleness, humility. And so, what are some of the characteristics, and what does leadership mean to you, given your experience? And obviously, you being a great leader in the eyes of many people, what does leadership mean to you?
So I don't have a really short answer to that.
You don't
I've
have to.
I've been so fortunate to have great leaders that I saw in action. John McTighe, he was a SEAL officer. Pete Van Hoosier, a one-legged SEAL. We're doing, on the East Coast, every SEAL team has this little monster match they call it on a Friday. They have a long run with a rucksack or a long swim or something, right? It's team camaraderie and everything. And I was at SEAL Team 4, and we go on these 8-mile runs with a rucksack with I think it was a 45-pound plate or 35, whatever it was. And you do that, and then you do a swim. Well, being a frogman and stuff, hey, it's good time and everything. And I see Pete Van Hoosier. He's coming out of the water, and I was a bosun mate. That was my rate before they came up with SEAL rate. And he goes, "Hey, Boats." He says, "Hey, I think something's wrong with my leg." And his foot was backwards. He had his foot like the fin foot. He had a running foot because he had one leg, right? So his foot
Mhm.
was backwards. I'm like, "No, sir, it looks good on you," kind of thing. And this is the guy who said, "Hey." He got all the chiefs together. I was a chief then. He says, "This is the required reading material you're going to do. It's going to help you be a better leader." Things like Gates of Fire, different. And here's what I've noticed too: the great leaders that I didn't really know it. They didn't really profess it, but were God-fearing men. I found out later on, kind of thing. John McTighe. Here's a guy who would serve. And I'm like, here's a commanding officer. What's he doing serving me, kind of thing? And as far as like his attitude and how I'm going
Mhm.
to help you be better. He came to my house when I re-enlisted when I was a skydiving instructor out of Yuma. And I was trying to get to a special SEAL team. And he ended up going out there, or he was there and came back or something. But here's a guy who travels all the way to Yuma just to re-enlist me. Guys that put out above and beyond, help my family out. We were talking earlier. He said, "Hey, while you're deployed, if Liz needs something, Pampers for the baby, whatever, let me know." And he wasn't just saying it. Here's a guy who's taking care of his team, which humbled me. It's very humbling when you're an E5 at a SEAL team, the commanding officer knows you by name and says, "Hey, I'm here to help you," kind of thing. You'd be an idiot and he's going to hammer you. And if you're, and I was lucky because I got hammered a lot because I was an idiot a lot of times. But they saw something that was moldable, I think. And so they'd
Mm.
hammer me, but kept me around. Never
Mhm.
processed me out of the military because I was not salvageable, I guess. And I thank God for that. It opened doors for me afterwards with contract and everything else. I did executive protection before for a multi-billionaire. So this is a long time ago. I'll say what his name is. His name is Les Wexner, and he owns Victoria's Secrets and some other companies. So I do his maritime work, his yacht work, and people, "Oh, it must be nice, models." Like, no, we're on there with his family. He's there with his wife and his 4 kids, and you're basically doing whatever they want. You're escort them everywhere. You're keeping them safe from embarrassment or whatever. Oh, by the way, "Hey, Paul, I want to go to lunch, over in France." I'm like, "Yes, sir." You're getting the limo, the helicopter, that you're setting all this stuff up, and a billionaire doesn't know the word no. And once again, the family itself was very humble. They treated me very well, and their security team. They didn't have to. So to answer your question, I picked up on a lot of these traits because I saw how I was treated, and they didn't have to. They could have treated me a little differently, and it would have been fine. But here are great men that set a good example for me, and that's carried into my own family life with my son. My son started calling me sir at a young age. I said, "Hey, I don't require that. Just call me daddy." He goes, "Oh, no, sir, I respect you." I mean, it was kind of strange, but I respect my son. It isn't something I just require from him, like, "You will say this," or whatever. Like, no.
Mhm.
And that means that he in turn is respectful to me for sure. And it's helped me in my family life and give me a new understanding for sure.